Okay, good afternoon students. Generation of impulse voltage and current. Before going to the topic, what is impulse voltage? It is a unidirectional voltage with no appreciable oscillation. It rises rapidly to maximum value and falls more or less rapidly to zero. It is essential to study the nature and characteristics of impulse wave before studying the generation and measurement of impulse voltage wave. The impulse voltage test, how we will do test impulse voltage test. Before the process is like that. The procedure for that is standard impulse wave of specified amplitude is applied. We apply the standard impulse wave of specified amplitude, that is 5 times in succession. If flashover or puncture of insulator does not take place, then the apparatus is considered as passed the test. Okay, we will consider that as passed the test. The apparatus is passed. If puncture occurs, or if one, two or more applied test waves flashover occurs, if puncture or flashover occurs, the apparatus is considered as failed the test. Okay, this is the procedure for standard impulse test. Okay, next is during the test we apply the with reversal of polarity. Okay, during the test some waves should be, we need to apply with reversal of polarity. Impulse wave is generated by impulse voltage generator. During the test, one terminal of the generator is connected to the terminal of apparatus. What we do, impulse wave is generated by impulse voltage generator. During the test, one terminal is connected for terminal of apparatus and other terminal is connected for arc and frame of the apparatus. Impulse voltage wave. In this, standard impulse waves are characterized by polarity, peak value, virtual front time and virtual half time and virtual time chopping. Okay. Impulse voltage or surge voltages are different from power frequency voltage, which is in pure sinusoidal shape. Impulses are the transient voltages which show the wide variation in magnitudes and wave shape. I have already explained in definition what is impulse voltage. Okay, there is a wide variation in magnitude and wave shape. An impulse voltage, I have already said, an impulse voltage is unidirectional voltage surge which rises to maximum. You can see the graph here, which rises to maximum value, within a very short period of time and falls less rapidly to zero, and it will fall down to zero. Okay, this is a from O to A is a front impulse, and from ADF, that is tail of the wave, MA is a peak. Okay, this is MA is a peak. 1.25 T2 minus T1, that is front time. T3 minus T0 is a tail time. Okay. The nominal starting point of the wave, CB portion of the wave, intercepts the time axis at T0. The wave from B to C. The wave from B to C is equal to T2 minus T1. The portion CB covers the, you can observe here, CB covers the 80% portion of front wave OA. Front time is adapted because starting point O and peak point A are difficult to identify. The nominal wave tail time is the time taken by the wave between nominal starting point and to the point by the wave. The nominal wave tail time is the time taken by the wave between nominal starting point and wave tail. Okay, where the voltage is 50% of the peak value. The standard specification of impulse wave is 100 kV, 1 by 50 microseconds time, with tolerance plus or minus 50% on front time, 20% on tail time. 100 kV is a peak value of impulse. 1 microseconds wave is wave front time and 50 microseconds wave wave front time and wave tail time. Okay. Next, impulse voltages are two types. Okay. First is lightning impulse and switching impulse. Before going to that, why we require impulse voltage? To study the effect of transient over voltages generated by lightning or switching operations on the system. Impulse wave is represented by the wave shape. The two parts in as indicated in the diagram can be expressed mathematically. It is expressed mathematically, that is E of t is equal to E caps lock E open bracket e to the power of minus alpha t minus e to the power of minus beta t, where alpha and beta are constants of microsecond value. Next, standard lightning impulse. It is full impulse having a front time of 1.2 microseconds and time to off value or tail time of 50 microseconds. It is described as 1.2 or 50 impulse. Wavefront is steep part of wave. Next, wave tail is a flat portion of the impulse wave. This is a graph for that standard lightning impulse. Okay. The standard specification and wave shape of lightning impulse are shown in this figure. Standard switching impulse. This wave is characterized by prolonged wavefront and wave tail. The typical switching impulse wave has front time TF. Okay, front time TF of the order of 250 microseconds. TF is order of 250 microseconds and TT, that is tail time of order is 2500 microseconds. The permissible deviation in the crest value, that is VP, is of the order of 4 to 12%. Wavefront is steep portion of impulse. This is a wavefront is steep portion of impulse. Next, single stage impulse generator. This is a CS, RF, RT and SG, RC. Okay. The impulse wave is generated by a wave shaping circuit. This is a wave shaping circuit. The proper shape is given to impulse wave by controlling front and tail of impulse. It is done by providing suitable values of RT and RF. How we can control the shape of impulse wave? We can control by using front and tail of impulse. It is done by changing the values of we should take the suitable values of RT and RF. What do you mean by RT and RF? RT is a resistance to control tail and RF is a resistance to control front wave. RC is a charging resistance, CS is a source capacitance, CL is a capacitive load. An impulse voltage is generated across a capacitive load CL. A capacitor CS of the same source is charged to direct voltage E0 through a charging resistor called RC. Okay, what happens here? A impulse voltage is generated across wire, across capacitive load, Okay, here voltage is generated. A capacitor CS, okay, a capacitor CS is here, source of capacitor CS is, they are saying that capacitor CS of the source is charged to a direct voltage E0 through a charging resistor RC. It is the capacitor source of the capacitor is charged to a direct voltage E0. Okay, it is charged through resistance RC. Okay. At the required instant of time, the spark gap is triggered. At the required instant of time, the spark gap is triggered. The current starts flowing through the RF. The current starts flowing through the RF. The value of RT is greater than RF in practice. so that source capacitance Cs charges load capacitance Cl. What they are saying, the value of RT is greater than RF. So what happens? Source capacitance charges load capacitance. Very quickly, the service resistance RF, though the service resistance RF were, okay, they are saying that RT greater than RF. At that time, capacitance Cs charges the load capacitance even though series resistance is there. Okay, this gives too steep wavefront for the output voltage V0. When CL is sufficiently charged, okay, when CS and CL is sufficiently charged, both CL and CS discharge through RL. First what happens? We will get the impulse voltage across capacitive load, and capacitor CS is a source is charged to a direct voltage through charging resistance, that is RC. Next, a spark gap is triggered. Okay, for some time, the current starts flowing through RF. The value of RT is greater than RF means at that situation, what happens? Capacitance CS starts charges. Capacitance Cs charges load capacitance Cl. Okay, for some time. This gives too steep wavefront for the output voltage V0. When Cl is sufficiently charged, both Cl and Cs discharge through RL, giving a slower wave tail portion. Okay, giving a slower wave tail portion. This circuit is built for voltages up to 200 kV, but above 200 kV use of multi-stage generator is normally made. Okay, this is for only for up to voltages 200 kV. Above 200 kV multi-stage generator we should use. Okay. In multi-stage generator, the capacitor Cs consists of N sections. They are saying that Cs will be having, capacitor Cs will have N sections connected in parallel. That means the N section of capacitors are connected in parallel during charging, in series during discharging. Okay, connected in parallel during charging and in series during discharging. Okay, it will be connected in parallel during charging and it is connected in series during discharging. The circuit employing this principle is known as Marx circuit. Next, analysis of impulse generator. This is the diagram what I have used in single stage impulse generator. Okay, C1 is a generator capacitance, R1 is a wavefront control resistor, R2 is a wave tail control resistor, C2 is a load capacitance, S is a external spear gap. This is a block transform circuit. This diagram only we have converted into blocks. Okay, this is Z1. Okay, Z1. This one is Z1. This one is Z2. Okay, this one is Z2. Z1 of S. Write equation for Z1 R1 plus 1 divided by C1 S is equal to R1 C1 S. If we convert into Laplace, then this is the circuit for that. Okay. For capacitance, we will take 1 by C1 S. For resistance, same as it is. Only we will convert for capacitance, inductance, and input voltage for voltage. Okay. Instead of V, we have written V by S. Instead of V0 of T, here V0 of S. Okay. Actually, Z1 of S is equal to R1 plus 1 divided by C1S. If you take LCM, R1 into C1 into S plus 1 divided by C1 into S. What about Z2? These two are in parallel. So R2 into 1 by C2S divided by R2 plus 1 by C2S. If you solve that one, you will get R2 divided by R2 C2S plus 1. But what about V naught of S? V naught of S is equal to V by S into Z2 of S divided by Z2 of S plus Z1 of S. V of S is equal to, okay, output voltage is equal to input voltage plus resistance, okay. Across output Z2 is there. So first Z2 divided by total resistance Z2 plus Z1, okay. V naught of S is equal to V by S, Z2 of S divided by Z2 of S plus Z1 of S. Z2 of S value is this one, okay, substitute this one. Z1 of S value is this one, substitute, okay. After substituting and after taking LCM, you'll get that here 1 plus R2 C2S and here also 1 plus R2 C2S, okay. If you take out LCM for this, you'll get this one, okay. These two get cancelled. After that, V by S into open bracket, okay, open bracket R2 C1S divided by R2 C1S plus open bracket 1 plus R1 C1S close bracket open bracket 1 plus R2 C2 close bracket, okay. This is after taking LCM, okay, denominator, and after cancelling this one, you'll get this one, okay. V by S is V by S open bracket R2 C1 S, okay, 1 plus R2 C2 S plus R1 C1 S. You multiply these two things, okay. After multiplying, you will get this one, okay. V divided by here S get cancelled, so V into open bracket R2 C1 divided by S square. First they have taken that S square, okay, here S square, take out S square plus here what it is there, R1 R2 C1 C2, okay, R2 C2 plus R1 C1 plus R2 C1 close bracket, S is common, okay, from 3 S is common, so they have taken S common. Here they have written R1 R2 C1 C2, okay, don't forget this one, okay. This is in small letters, you need to write. After writing this only S square you need to write, okay, plus 1. They have taken from these three things S common. Next, V divided by V divided by R1 R2 C1 C2 R2 C1 divided by S square. They have taken total common R1 R2 C1 C2, okay. If you take out common, what you'll get, S square 1 divided by R1 C1 plus 1 divided by R2 C2 plus 1 divided by R1 C2 close bracket S plus 1 divided by, for this if you take out whole, if you take out common this one, you'll get this one, okay, 1 divided by R1 R2 C1 C2. Next, V naught of S is equal to V divided by R1, here R2 get cancelled and C1 get cancelled, so V divided by R1 C2 1 divided by S square plus this we will take as A into S plus this we will take as B, okay, so B. A is equal to 1 divided by R1 C1 plus 1 divided by R2 C2 plus 1 divided by R1 C2. This B is equal to 1 divided by R1 R2 C1 C2, okay. Next, if we solve S square plus AS plus B, it is similar, okay. S square plus AS plus B. What is S value? We will get 2. Okay, we will, if we solve that one, minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a is equal to, if you substitute b value, okay, minus a plus or minus square root of a square minus 4b divided by 2. Let the roots of the equation are alpha is equal to minus a divided by 2 minus square root of a by 2 whole square minus b. Here a is 1, b is equal to a and c is equal to b, okay. So if you substitute in this equation, we get two roots, that is alpha is equal to minus alpha a by 2 minus square root of a by 2 whole square minus b, and this another one is this one. Okay. V naught of S is equal to V divided by R1 C2 1 divided by S minus alpha S minus beta. Okay, that we will write as S plus B S. That is we got two roots, right? That's why S minus A S minus B. Okay, sorry, beta. By using partial fraction, 1 divided by S minus alpha S minus beta is equal to A divided by S minus alpha plus B divided by S minus beta. We in these type of derivations we solve in control system and in many other subjects, right? 1 is equal to A into S minus beta close bracket plus B into S minus alpha close bracket. Let S is equal to alpha. Okay. If we take as S is equal to alpha, what we will get? 1 is equal to A open bracket alpha minus beta close bracket. B will be 0. Okay. B will become 0. So A is equal to 1 divided by alpha minus beta. First we need to find out A and B value to substitute in this equation. Okay. A is equal to what? 1 divided by alpha minus beta. Now let S is equal to beta, so that this will become 0 and we can find out B. Okay. B is equal to 1 divided by beta minus alpha. Now we know the value of A and B. Substitute. V naught of S is equal to what? V naught of S is equal to V1 divided by R1 C2. Substitute the values. Okay. A is equal to 1 divided by alpha minus beta. Okay. But what about here? It is A divided by S minus alpha. Okay, that we have taken. Substitute A value and B value. 1 divided by alpha minus B divided by S minus alpha plus 1 divided by beta minus alpha divided by S minus beta. We have substituted the A value and B value. Now they have taken common that 1 divided by alpha minus beta. 1 divided by S minus alpha minus 1 divided by S minus beta close bracket. Taking inverse Laplace transform. Okay, they have taken that inverse Laplace. Okay, this is why we got minus here, because 1 divided by alpha minus beta they have taken. Okay, here they have taken common as alpha minus beta. That's why here you'll get minus. Okay. V naught of t. Okay, after applying inverse Laplace for that, V naught of t is equal to V divided by R1 C2 open bracket alpha minus beta close bracket. This can be written as 1 divided by S minus alpha can be written as e to the power of alpha t minus e to the power of beta t close bracket. This is the first equation. Next, usually 1 divided by C1 R1 and 1 divided by C2 R2 will be much smaller compared to what? 1 divided by R1 C2. Okay. So what they will do? The two roots may be approximated as alpha is equal to minus 1 divided by R1 C2 and beta is equal to what? Minus 1 divided by R2 C1. The output voltage equation is like this. They will substitute the alpha values. Alpha values is what we got here. Alpha value, A value is 1. Okay, B value is A. Okay, alpha is equal to minus 1 divided by R1 C2 and beta is equal to minus 1 divided by R2 C1. If we substitute e to the power of minus 1 divided by R1 C2 into t minus e to the power of minus 1 divided by R2 C1 into t. We have substituted the value of alpha and beta. Okay. Next, you'll get e to the power of minus alpha t minus e to the power of minus beta t. Either you substitute or write directly as it is. Okay. Alpha is equal to same, they have said that alpha and beta values, and this graph for that E1 is equal to 1.2 microseconds, and T2 is equal to 50 microseconds. The maximum voltage occurs T is equal to T1. The maximum output voltage Vm is equal to V divided by R1 C2 alpha minus beta e to the power of minus alpha T1 minus e to the power of minus beta T1. There's for maximum voltage T is equal to T1. They have substituted instead of T1. Okay. Approximate formula to find out T1 and T2. T1 is equal to 3R1 C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. This is for front time. And T2 is equal to 0.7 R1 plus R2 C1 plus C2. What about N? N is a number of stages. C1, how we can find out? C divided by N. What about R1? R1 is a wavefront controlled resistor. During discharge time, C1 and C2 considered as parallel. Okay. During discharge time, C1 and C2 considered as parallel, and discharge occurs through R1 and R1 and R2. This is the approximate formula to find out the T1 and T2, the time constant of the circuit. Okay. First, we need to find out T1 and T2. During discharge, we will consider that C1 and C2 are parallel, and when discharge occurs through R1 and R2. Okay. This is the single stage impulse generator. Okay. Next, Marx circuit. We shall read Marx circuit in next class. Okay.